Hello students, today we will be learning about Scotland. As we are learning about Scotland, shall I do the whole lesson in a Scottish accent or my normal voice?
Scottish, please.
Thank you, Simon.
Okay then, let's get this lesson started. This is the Scottish flag. The flag of Scotland is a white X-shaped cross, which represents the cross of the patron saint of Scotland, Saint Andrew on a blue field. The flag is called the Saltire or the Saint Andrew's Cross. Okay now class, now that we know a little about the Scottish flag, let's look at where Scotland is on the European map.
Are you going to show everyone that tattoo?
Yes, Betty. This is the map of Europe. I'm sure most of you will already know this, but Scotland is the country now highlighted in red. Okay now, let's take a look at Scotland itself and its many mountain ranges.
Are you going to show us your other tattoo, the one of Scotland?
Best to try and keep this movie, you Betty. This is the Highlands. This is where in Scotland we will be looking at today. In the Highland region there is the North Highlands, Moray Speyside, Inverness, Loch Ness and the Nairn, Aviemore and the Cairngorms, Fort William and Lochaber, and finally Skye and Lochnash. Now class, let's look at the temperature in the Highlands, and the rest of Scotland. This here is a typical autumn forecast on Scotland. As you can see, the temperatures are rather mild and about the same temperature in the cities and towns shown. It ranges from about 11 degrees in the east of Scotland and 14 degrees in Glasgow. And here is a graph that shows the average rainfall. As you can see, January has the most rain, about 120 millimeters, and April has the least amount of rain, at 50 millimeters over the month. Now let's talk a bit more about the Highlands and its mountains. The tallest mountain in the Highlands and the whole of Scotland and the UK is Ben Nevis. Here is a picture. Ben Nevis stands at about 1,334 meters, situated in the Highlands. It is close to Fort Williams. The average temperature at the summit is 1 degree below freezing. Deep snow lies all year in large pockets at the foot of the northern and northeast cliffs, and snow can fall in any month of the year, and even in mid-May snow can cover the summit. But now class, we have a special visitor from the Highlands who has climbed Ben Nevis.
Hello lads and lasses. I am a real Highlander from Scotland in the Cairngorms, and I will tell you about my journey up Ben Nevis. Day 1. It was a cold winter day and I climbed up the first rock of Ben Nevis and said, "Oh, it's a bit cold. Let's go home for a nice cup of char."
You don't sound very Scottish, do you?
Well, I am, so deal with it.
Well, okay, that was shorter than I thought. Did anything else happen except that you felt cold?
Well, I did climb to the top of Ben Nevis, then some boulders started to crumble down and nearly throw me off 1,344 meters to my death, and that I had to sleep in a sleeping bag a couple of centimeters off the edge below freezing, and that I had to fight dozens of Scottish wildcats with a stick. Then no, nothing else really happened.
Well, great. Now I have to change my lesson plan. Okay kids, let's learn about the towns and cities in Scotland, like Edinburgh. The capital city of Scotland is Edinburgh. Edinburgh is also the second largest city in Scotland. Edinburgh lies on the east coast, where the River Forth flows into the sea. The central part is Edinburgh Castle, at the top of a steep hill. The castle has a military display every year, called a tattoo, where soldiers show their skills at marching and competitions, and there are brass bands and bands of bagpipes. Even Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone, was born in Edinburgh. Now children, let's have a look at Scotland's famous lochs. people in Scotland call lakes lochs. There are more than 30,000 freshwater lochs in Scotland, and the 5 largest lochs in Scotland are Loch Awe, Lomond, Morawer, Ness and Shiel. These lochs hold about a third of all the water held in lochs in Scotland. Although Loch Lomond has the largest surface area, 71 kilometers squared, and Loch Morawer the greatest depth, 310 meters, the largest loch by volume is Loch Ness, which contains more water than all the lakes in England and Wales together, which is 7,452 million meters cubed. There is quite a lot of wildlife in lochs and around lochs in Scotland. In Loch Lomond, there are a variety of different species of animals such as otters, capercaillie, which is a very large bird at 86 centimeters tall with blackish-grey feathers and a fan-shaped tail, ospreys, water voles, the powan and the freshwater pearl mussel deer and the red squirrel. Many wild fish species live here because all of the woods, mountains, lochs and coasts of Loch Lomond are an ideal hunting and grazing ground. As we were looking at the Highlands a few minutes ago, shall we take a look at all of the other regions in Scotland?
No, not really.
Well, we are going to have to. Here is the map of Scotland again. Let's zoom in so we can see the regions more clearly. We have zoomed in on the north of Scotland. From what we can see, there is the Highlands, which we have already looked at, and we can see the Western Isles, which are a chain of islands some 30 miles off the northwest coast of Scotland. We can also see the Riggins, Grampian and Tayside. These are the main regions on which we can see on this map of northern Scotland. Now let's zoom in on southern Scotland. Here is southern Scotland. We can see many small and large regions here. These are Glasgow, which is Scotland's largest city with a population of almost 1.2 million people, and we have some smaller regions which are home to Tunbury, Troon and Irvine. We also have Edinburgh, which is Scotland's capital city, which we have looked at already, and we finally have the region of Fife, the Borders and Dumfries and Galloway. Now we will look more in depth at the temperatures in Scotland during each season. Here is a map of most of Scotland which shows the mean temperature in the summer days. Some temperatures in the middle of the Highlands fall below 10 degrees while most areas are between 10 and 15 degrees. However, this map shows the temperatures in 1961 to 1995, so climate change will affect the temperatures today. And here is the mean temperatures for spring. They range from 2 degrees in the west and below freezing in the east. And in the winter, temperatures can fall below freezing. In the autumn months, the mean temperature is around 1 degree. Okay, now the lesson is finished.
Now the lesson is finished. Phew, that Scottish accent was annoying.